Any life from Gintania?
Oh yeah.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Whiskey Gaming Show. How we doing out there? And today we've got the McLeod with us. Say hey, McLeod.
Hey, McLeod.
And hopefully our sound's working. We'll see. And Caleb, you're here too.
I am indeed.
You know, and Scythe, are you hiding out there?
I'm here. I'm here.
How much?
Supposedly.
How much whiskey in the pregame?
I had no whiskey in the pregame, sir. I had a lot of hot sauce, a burrito, some chips, and a bunch of rum. Because America.
All the rum.
And I had the traditional beer of my school, crap. Nah, just kidding. But yeah. Trying to watch football at the same time as doing this.
Excellent.
You can put full Gintana.
Dragonzer says you're making him hungry.
Go to Fiesta Mexicana or Moe's or something and get you a burrito.
Didn't I drag
Chips.
you?
Thank you.
Hey, do we have our special guest?
We do
Indeed.
indeed.
I mean, it could be any random British person.
Any random British
It's
person?
technically true. Hey, look! Doctor Who's here.
That was much less sexual than I thought it was going to be.
Don't worry,
Jane, from you.
Doctor Who's a woman now, so it's okay.
Oh my god. So I will say I'm drinking what I think is perhaps not exactly a very well made. I probably needed to fix it a little better, but a White Russian, which really looks like a black and tan Russian, if I really look at it. And
It's Russian. It's alcoholic. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I think the cream just like froze on top with the ice.
Oof.
I should probably go off push to talk, actually, otherwise you'll hear my clicky keys, which are
Yeah.
amazing.
They hear my clicky keys. They're used to it, Jinten. So welcome, Jinten. Say hello to the audience since you're already here.
A very good evening to you all.
So we didn't know if you were going to actually make it, so I didn't stick your name in the ping if it came out there. And let's see.
Sorry, I was
Val
busy
sent
playing
me a
better
very
games than EVE Online.
Oh! How do you know what I do?
Well, let's
Shots
put it this way.
fired.
Are you watching me play Rocket League right now?
And no, but
How
I was
is
watching
that better than Eve?
Because Rocket League is the shit, man. I can go play some indie fucking first-person shooters if you want, but, you know.
I was playing fucking PUBG.
Oh, that's a worse game.
God.
Type of shit, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm-
just like all the
Oh,
others.
Jin, I'm trying to do a particular challenge on PUBG, which is pretty damn hard right now. It's kind of a fun
What
thing to
win?
do solo, and it's the Game of Thrones Arya Stark challenge.
The Game of Thrones Arya
What the
Stark
fuck?
Challenge. The hell are you playing?
What are you
That's running around blind and trying to survive, or what?
So essentially, what you do is when you parachute in, you land. You have to kill somebody with the first weapon that you find, and then once you kill that person, you have to exchange all of your clothes and items with that person. Then go.
Is
kill
it like an
somebody with-
achievement or
their
something?
items.
Do you get any? Okay, I was like,
No, it's
do you get
purely-
anything, or is it just for a
No.
fuck around? It's a
It's just
fuckery.
for fuck around. It's
Okay,
just
so there's
interesting
serious
fuckery.
fuckery afoot.
But basically, yeah, you have to kill the person. You have to kill somebody and then take all of their stuff and then use their stuff to kill the next person, and then rinse and repeat. And you have to win the round like that. Just
Yeah.
crazy.
Are you at least
hard.
recording your gameplay so if you accomplish this stupid task, that
Yeah.
you have proof of it?
Of course, I would, man. Like holy crap.
So we get a new follower, Fakerman. Thank you, Fakerman. So we've got some new people out there. I say Kahania, I think, said he's a new one. Somehow he realized he's no longer a nerd. I don't know. So Whiskey Game, we pretty much talk about anything we want to, mostly Eve, because we love it.
And whiskey and alcohol.
Whiskey.
Whiskey, a lot of alcohol,
Alcohol. And,
bad jokes.
So, Jintan, are you sure you want to stick around for this? Because it's bad. We're not a very good show. You might not want to stay yourself.
I
Don't
thought
worry,
you.
I stick around in Providence, which is a very bad coalition, so I'm used to it.
Shit.
Oof! Ow!
Fucking get
jeez.
wrecked.
Just self-wrecked.
I thought you were going to say something in terms of alcohol and the fact that, like, you know, you can, like, Jin
He's
can deal
drinking.
with alcohol. He's been dealing with Icelandics and their consumption of alcohol for a few weeks now, haven't you, Jin?
Is it
Yeah, I
true
do.
that the Icelandic people like burgers the most?
They do love burgers. They have a really nice burger place. Really, really
Alright.
close by.
See, the only reason I asked this is I went out to lunch with my brother and a couple of his coworkers. They're Polish, and they all ordered cheeseburgers at a steak joint. It freaked me out.
What?
It really freaked me out a little bit. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?"
If you're gonna
Well,
order
the goons were at one of the really good burger places in Iceland. At
think that's-
Fanfest.
Mhm.
What's
Oh,
his
yeah,
name, Jin? Do you remember?
Oh, Bulan.
No, the American thing, the one with the
McDonald's.
ribs
It's
and-
just the American bar. There is just a bar called the
Yeah,
American
I think
bar.
that's the name. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
called
had some
McDonald's.
I had some really good alcohol there. I got fucked up.
You had a good amount of alcohols from that place.
Was it a good alcohol or a lot of alcohol? Because that's both good.
It was a combination of the two. I had something called a trash can, which is
Oh yeah.
Did you die? You okay?
no,
I did.
I drank a couple of them. They were good.
Okay. Like, is your hangover over yet? Are you still experiencing the headache?
I am currently on a 2 or 3 week detox from all alcohol and marijuana consumption as a result of my time in Iceland because I can't do this anymore. My liver hates me.
And just when you get clean, you're gonna be off to Amsterdam.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'll pollute your system.
Well, that's
again.
good. It's good.
That'll
It's good
get
because
it all
you
back in there.
you detox so that when you go and do it again, it hits at full force.
And you don't need as much to get wrecked.
I think my worst experience was fucking on the last day. I woke up in someone else's house, just with the world's like worst hangover. Just I had still had alcohol spilled on me. Like half of my belt loops were missing on my trousers. I was missing like parts of my flies were missing.
Parts of your what
You
were
lost
missing?
belt loops.
Yeah,
What
no,
the
I had to bin a pair of trousers, and I also still to this day don't know where my belt went. Someone ripped my belt off.
Son, it probably could toss your ass out of a bar.
So
I
you're
think you
missing
might
your
have
belt.
been experiencing some drunk BDSM.
Oh, that hot.
It's really sad I don't remember it, but yeah, no, I woke up, I had 2 hours, I had 2 hours to get back to my hotel from one side of Reykjavik to the other and check out of my hotel because I had to check out at 12 o'clock.
Now I'm just waiting for Aerith or Falcon to send a picture as a trophy of your belt.
Just someone
Yeah.
has your belt. They'll give it back next Fan Fest.
Okay, so you know that fucking picture of all the CSM together? All the while we were taking that picture, because Aerith knew his mouth wouldn't be shown on the fucking photo, he was just whispering the most filthy shit to me and the rest of the CSM to make clap. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. Just
I'm telling you, Aerith got your belt, Jintan. And pictures.
You know, it's an investment
Yeah.
for later on the market, right?
you should ask
What-
fucking
It's like ransoming someone's corpse back to them. He's gonna give you your belt back for 4 moons and a pos.
But Jintan is dirt poor. Why would there be any ransom like that? It has to be something different.
Like Jintan, you can have your belt back, but we want 6
4
of your
dairy
stations.
products and a special slave in Eve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as poor as I once was, primarily because I invested with Caleb and also Elizabeth Norn.
Yeah, Caleb Investments coming out strong.
So
And then you went and fucked us by getting the CSM to push forward the patch. So I did not actually get to position anything.
Thanks a
Team.
lot, Dad.
That wasn't even my call.
Thanks.
It's like the opposite of leaking. That's like anti-leaking.
I agree with that.
That's called
CSM,
fucking.
So,
Yeah, he had to-
CSM cucking. CSM cucking.
He had to show that he wasn't insider trading. That's why.
He wasn't hack source.
so we have a question from the chat. I don't know if you're reading it, Jintan.
Yeah, I am.
They want to know where the hell the god that amazing tie. So, I think
the
where
answer
you
in
got
chat.
that amazing tie. Probably where you got that amazing tie.
Probably from Primark.
From hextie.com. It's a tie
It is a
company
hex
that
tie.
does-
Yeah,
Oh my
hex
God.
tie. There you go. It's a
I,
hex tie.
I was there kind of going. Is it a hex tie or is it a version of a hex tie that you found in Primark kind of thing or something like that?
No,
But,
it was one of the limited
damn.
edition gold ones, yeah, that I got a while ago. Because I saw it on offer and I was like, holy shit, I have to have this. This is the most Amarian thing I've ever seen in my life. And then I ended up wearing it to FanFest. Me and Nash got really drunk and he was like, you need a gold jacket to go along with that tie. And me being me, I was like, Amazon, gold jacket, let's fucking go. In
Oh
the
my
middle of
God.
FanFest.
Oh fuck.
And
Well played, sir. Well played.
Well played. Yeah. GG, bro.
Oh yeah,
You
I
were
love
the
outfit. I
talk
like
of
the gold
Twitch
outfit.
when people first saw that. It was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's always been the same thing with me because I last AT, if you remember, I wore the badass gold, pink pimp hat with my matching tie.
You know where else you can wear both those outfits, right?
Your bedroom?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
get wrecked.
My wife's bedroom, but no.
That's true. Okay.
She has a separate
Good
one. No, Vegas.
You
Huh.
Vegas.
Fit right in.
He would.
Sadly, I can't make it to
I know.
Vegas because I am too poverty stricken.
You need to fix that, brother.
It does cost like $1.50 to
You
fly.
bought,
to
you
Well,
bought a
what-
hex tie. How are you poverty stricken?
What you do is you know Eric for a long time, and then he peer pressures you by telling you that he has a free hotel room, and then you have to figure out how to book a flight to Vegas.
That really is not coming off the way you wanted to say. Or I wanted to.
I don't know. I was trying to Seguus there, and it wasn't great.
No.
I might-
Seguus. What the fuck?
Seguus.
What is that? Segway.
I know it's first of all, I know it's Segway. We just have to make the Segu joke because of Psych,
Yeah, we have a big hotel room. He's in his own room. Just to be clear to everybody.
so they can lock me in at night when I
Yeah.
become a werewolf.
Yeah, in his straitjacket, because you all know he needs it after a couple drinks.
Oh,
not,
yes.
not really. I'm very nice drunk.
You're in the main room with Damara, okay? I'm in the other third bedroom. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm safe.
Oh, I get to
now.
share a room with Damara. That's awesome.
Not the same. It's
Ah.
one big room. There's just a couple different doors.
I know. It's gonna fuck with Damara.
Not only
Like
that,
he's watching the show though.
not only that, you have your own bathroom, okay? So just
I got you. So what you're telling me is that if I die, to aim for the toilet, just like.
if you're gonna puke, you never puke in a toilet. Don't any of you know this?
No.
You guys,
What?
you puke
No.
in the bathtub. Am I the only guy in
Then
this?
where are you going to pass out?
What the fuck are you talking about, sir?
Always puke in the bathtub.
I'd like
It's
this-
easier to
I'd like
clean.
this to
And
be
by the way,
explained.
you don't take a dump in the bathtub. So
I
if you're
tell
gonna
you what,
puke
if you
anywhere.
no, if you get like mad ill, you go to the bathtub, you like wrap yourself in a shower curtain, and then you just let loose from both sides. That's
Like-
perfect.
It's like you know, Jin. Oh,
It's-
Always speak
It's
from
like
experience.
It's like I was a fucking teenager like 1 year ago.
what a.
Yesterday.
I do.
Maths.
That's
I mean,
okay.
I've only
Scythe was a
thrown-
teenager yesterday too, so don't worry about it.
That was a longer time ago, but yes. Yes.
Was that carding story, by the way, true, Jintan?
Yeah, I did unironically get carded on my way into a bar at multiple clubs.
That's funny. That is funny.
What's the drinking age over there in Reykjavik?
20.
18.
Is it
That's
18?
20.
Is it?
Oh.
Is it 20?
Yeah.
What's the drinking age in the UK then? I thought that's baby child
18.
levels.
No,
14.
16.
14 if you're with
Is
the
it
parent.
14 now? Oh, 14.
Yeah, 14
like-
is when you can drink, 18 is when you
Fuck.
can buy alcohol.
Man, we deprive our children here.
Hold it. How do you drink when you're 14
Yeah, that's-
if you can't buy
That's why
alcohol?
this country is so fucked up.
Your parents
parents
can buy it
can-
for you if your guardian says you can do it.
Yeah,
But I
and it's
mean,
not-
I'm assuming the underage drinking is the cause of Brexit. So,
No wonder you
Yeah,
guys
pretty much.
lost the war. Jesus Christ.
You're too fucking drunk to shoot straight.
They're muskets. They don't shoot straight.
That's true.
So, no. So we got eVegas coming up. Obviously, I'm heading out there, and now that I've twisted Scythe's arm enough, he's coming out. I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be there for the goon dinner though, just based off of the flight schedules in my area.
Okay.
Unless I want to fly to Washington first.
Yeah.
Not Washington D.C. by the way, the other one, the much shittier one. Oh wait, I don't know if that's right or not.
So you're gonna fly all the way across the country and then come back a quarter of the way.
I shit
closer
you not.
to-
One of the cheaper flights was to fly to Los Angeles and then to fly from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and that was my layover. Was
There you
Los
go.
Angeles. I
There you
might
go.
actually do that just because it's cheaper.
Oh yeah, sure, why not?
To be like, I'm in LA. Yeah.
Literally, I
I'm in
mean,
Las
it's
Vegas.
literally the layover is an hour, and you don't have to get off the plane. So I'm
Oh
just
wow,
the same
so you're
fucking-
same plane. That's nice.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's not bad. It makes the flight 3 hours longer, but fuck it. I'll save $100 that I can throw on blackjack.
There you go.
Yeah, or actually buy a ticket to the fucking event.
So it was really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't have my tickets last week,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I look at my wife and I'm like, holy shit! In less than an hour, we've got another. We're gonna be, or less than a month. We're gonna be in Vegas almost. And like it's like a month
Yeah.
away. We better get those airline tickets. So I had to run out and buy some airline tickets the other day. So I'm all ready to go. And now we're sitting there going, do we just do carry-on luggage because it's just freaking quicker? Or what do we do? Because we got seats with like our own carry-on space or something stupid. So we'll see what
Yeah.
we're going to do. But yeah, I'm very excited. I
I'm-
can't wait for eVegas. It's going to be a good time, and it looks like there are a ton of goons. So if you're in the Imperium and you haven't gone on the goon forums, look for the Las Vegas thread. I think Bromander Data is kind of setting everything up, and he's got a nice dinner Thursday night. I think it's set up at the Vegas Hofbrauhaus. So there'll probably be a bunch of shot skis going on and all kinds of good stuff, and probably some good German food. So that'll be good.
Also, if you didn't hear it, Rain got Falcon to leak on the Open Com show. There might actually be some Nova coverage at Vegas.
Oh yeah. I remember
Cool.
seeing. I remember that.
That will be cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
So-
Someone fucking find out in Vegas whose dick I have to suck next summit to like get a fucking copy of Nova. Thanks.
It'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be cool. So I can't wait for Nova to come out. Isn't it? What's it called now? They changed the name from Nova to something else, right?
No, it's just Project
wasn't-
Nova.
Oh, just still Project Nova.
Yeah,
Okay,
still
cool.
Still Nova.
The
You're thinking of
We
probably
should
of it
take-
changing from Legion to Nova
yes.
because it was originally Project Legion.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
I was like, wait, which one's Nova? I forgot until you
So-
said Project Legion. Now I'm on point.
So what you're telling me, based on what I've heard earlier in this conversation, when we're in eVegas, we should take a bunch of the devs out to like a great steakhouse and watch them all order hamburgers. Is that what you guys
Yes.
are telling me?
So saith whatever company that my brother works for because they just got bought out again.
Yeah, it won't happen. They'll all order steaks. You know.
Yeah.
So my only bummer is there's a freaking awesome lobster buffet or brunch there, and I did go 2 months ago to get a reservation. So 2 months prior to the date we're going to be there for Sunday brunch, and the fuckers all sold out. Couldn't even get 2 seats, let alone 6 that I needed. And it's a Sunday brunch, and the place is only open Sunday, so that kind of.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it does kind of suck, but they have like an all-you-can-eat lobster and filet mignon and stuff. It's like $100, so it's a little pricey, but
That's correct.
but it really looked good. But we're not going, so it's kind of a bummer. So what else do we got? Let's talk some refineries. So Jintan's here, right? We can pick his brain. I
We can-
actually have. I have
yeah, this is the segment where we dissect Jintan and make him
Yeah.
say stuff. that
well,
he
should
shouldn't say.
should we show the little video? Because I did a little video on CZ. I'm pulling up part of the planet, so I kind of like
Oh,
flew
nice,
around
nice.
it and flew through it to kind of see some of the graphics. So
That'd be pretty awesome.
yeah, it'll be quiet. It can just play while we chit chat. It'll cover you up, McLeod, but you know, it's not going to.
That's fine.
It'll cover
McLeod
everybody
doesn't
except
need to be
Caleb.
on
I gotta put Caleb back a little bit there.
I just want to point out that if you look at my second screen, I'm watching the stream, and the only person I can see on the stream is Caleb. So it's no change.
There's that then.
The Discord is covering up the rest of the screen. I just wanted to try and see the chat, and Caleb made it in.
There you go. So here, I was flying around. I pulled a piece up, and kind of the graphics. I mean, they did a nice job on this.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
looks pretty.
I mean, you know, I fly through it a little bit. You'll notice that some of the larger rocks in particular, they independently rotate.
Nice.
So
I see that.
and at different speeds. So it's kind of a nice thing, unless of course you're in potato mode. But they did a real nice job with the little particles and things. I mean, I think they did a hell of a job. While I still don't like the general, you know, interactive mining of the moons, it's gonna create some interesting gameplay. And again,
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what's kind of funny? Like a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a
A dude with a blue
the E
sword.
forums were on when the E forums were in its infancy. Well, not really infancy, but you know, there were lots of talk of, you know, augmenting like moon mining and all sorts of different things. And one of the things that were discussed and sort of suggested was comet mining. It's almost like it's comet mining. You know, it's
Pretty
almost
much, yes.
almost
And
looks like
comet
it's-
mining has been discussed for ages.
Well, I haven't blown this particular rock up yet, right? It's still getting pulled up, right?
Oh, do you not have the
next
like
time.
GM dev hacks?
No, don't have the GM.
He's
No.
just using the camera, dude.
just the test server. man.
Yeah, it's just F
Oh.
server.
Wait, did they not put like the fast forward function on fucking Sissy? That's pretty lame.
Not that I'm aware of, at least, or I would have blown.
We
it
don't
up.
all have CSM hacks, all right?
Yeah, thanks, Shintan. Thanks for putting me on the list. Thanks.
Yeah, but
Sorry. I was expecting that they would at least like put some sort of fast forward button on there so they could just be
Nah.
like, yeah, now
Yeah,
blow it up, yeah,
fast forward.
explosions.
Fast forward.
Everyone's allowed to everyone's allowed to play around with fast forward tie dye, like reverse tie dye,
reverse
To be
tie
fair-
dye.
because that won't get out of hand.
No, you could just like it's the same. Don't worry about it. It's just
No, we get it. No, we get it. It's good stuff.
You
Don't
go
worry,
and
I
make
don't
some
have-
videos, Tintan, if you've got those nice dev hacks.
Yeah,
dude, I'd make so many videos with dev hacks. I'd fast forward so many things.
I know it would be nice. It would be nice. But yeah, I think they did a
Do a
lot.
frame
It's
by
pretty cool.
frame.
I mean, the art department did a hell of a job with the. I'm assuming this rock's not going to look the same on every planet, every moon, right?
That's
but I
a
haven't tried that yet.
small one, right?
Yeah, hopefully
is a
they
pretty
start
small one. It's a
skinning them
couple
so they
days.
match the planet that they're.
I have
Pulling
another
from.
one.
I've seen a couple on the test server in FD-MLJ
Mhm.
where they're pulling up extra large chunks, and it's like huge.
Yeah, I have another one that's probably like a 7-day chunk, so we'll see how big they are. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And
I like the trail of
Hmm.
crap following behind it, where it's just like the debris.
Yep, it is. It
That's
is all
pretty
pretty
neat.
cool. I do like the new
That's pretty
scanning too. I like the scanning for it.
I haven't checked that actually.
Yeah, so when you shoot the little scanner probe in there, you know, they come up in the same window they used to, but it gives you a set of things that will be mined off the moon, and it gives you, from what I've seen, now there may be something higher than the number 1, right? But it tends to be a very long fractional representation of something.
So you know, percentage up to 1.0.
Right. That's what I think it's looking at being. So there's the refinery itself.
Is it
a
still
large
just like, you know, only a couple of things, or is it like a bunch of stuff?
Look at that good B
It
on
was
top.
it was about 4 that I saw.
Oh,
on
that's
most
not
of them.
bad.
But interspersed in there was like I found over where I was mining, I found a Dispro Moon, right? So what they give you is you don't see dysprosium, right? You see the new ore that gives you dysprosium if you either react or refine it. I'm not sure which one to get there.
It's
Right.
a placeholderite that you refine into
Placeholder, right?
Yeah, placeholder ore.
Nice.
that you refine into Dispro plus other minerals, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I think I liked in Jintan, I don't know if it's going to stick or it's just what they did, but yeah, they have like placeholder skill for high sec ore, placeholder skill for rare ore type stuff, right? I'm hoping that we don't have 17 skills to train here.
Oh, it's 11, right?
Well, they
It's
only
likely
have
that there'll
2
be.
right now.
I do not know, and I could not say because that would be NDA.
That's okay. I'm just saying.
Well, if it's already released, it's not an NDA, right, Jim?
Yeah, but what they have on CZ, it seems to be only 2 right now.
Yeah,
That's
that
cautioning
seems
everybody.
like it would be a nicer solution than having 17 separate skills that are like 0.5 a level or something.
Right. So my
That makes
feedback
more
to
sense.
them is, don't give us 17 more skills, please. Keep it at 2 the way it is on CZ right now. I mean that seems pretty reasonable, right?
Well, there will be the refining upgrade boosting skills as well. I think Reba said that there was 10 or 11 skills coming.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat for you, Eric, since you've played with it.
So if you line up 10 of these refineries, can you
No,
parallel?
you can't line them up.
10
There's only room
revised
for
route?
1 in the Lagrange point.
Right.
Yeah, you can only anchor one refinery at a time, although there is a 15-minute vulnerability period after you anchor it, so that you can't just sit there cloaked and after someone blows up your thing, just immediately drop another one.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you actually have you have to maintain grid control whilst your thing anchors, just like with old POSes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. The other thing I noticed, which seemed, and I haven't experimented with it much, but there's one location on every moon that you can anchor one of these, and it's actually a beacon in space. Right?
There's actually 2, right, for each of the Lagrange points. Jim, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 2.
No, only one refinery per Lagrange point.
Yeah, you can only anchor 1, but there's 2 locations.
I do not believe there's 2 locations per moon. There should just be
one
one
per
location per moon.
One location per
Okay,
moon.
I'm just pretty sure that we were told that there was going to be 2.
I think physics dictates that there is only really one.
No, there are multiple. There are 5 Lagrange
Pretty
points
sure it's
between
the
sun.
Highlander that declares that it can
Oh,
only
shit,
be
all
1.
right.
Thank you.
Here, let me knowledge you up.
Are you going to
Everyone missed my sick Highlander reference.
No, we
Especially,
just
definitely more than
I love
one
the
Lagrange
Highlander
point, but,
I'm going to be real sad about that.
Yeah.
speaking of science, have I missed this? And is everyone on the same page that the new Project Discovery stuff? That there was actually a briefing about the discovery of planets around Tau Ceti.
No, I didn't hear that.
Proxima Centauri. There's actually they found like 5 Earth-sized planets or something like that, and I think one of them is an extremely high candidate for sustaining life.
Cool. Hopefully we'll find some smarter than us.
So that whole thing that we're actually part of in EVE right now is really kicking off, like in a major way. They found so many Earth-like planets now.
Yeah, but like, do you really want an EVE player to name that planet?
Yeah, it will be called Foxy Fire Fozzie the Planet, and it will be great.
And it'll be called
I
Fuck
guarantee
Grayscale,
I'll be
all right?
No,
It's
we've
gonna
gone
have the
past Fuck
worst
Grayscale.
names.
It's going to be the Fozzie's Hole or the Goon Hole.
No, you know the
Oh, and of course it's going to be called the Goon
the
Hole.
first planet that we find that we have to name, somebody's going to name it Eat a Dick. Okay, you know that's the real name.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Yeah,
So-
can we just agree to call it jitter? Something nice.
Like who was it that had their boat fucking named Bodie McBoatface by the internet? What the?
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
was,
yeah.
that was us. That was the English. We are
Yeah.
very good at naming.
By the way, I like Bodie McBoatface.
I
Okay,
did too. Like, there's
Fucking
nothing
cool.
wrong with the name, but it's like the fuck.
I'm pissed off.
Come
We
on.
don't have a ship named Bodie McBoatface.
To be fair, we
Well,
didn't.
we-
We didn't.
we
We don't have a ship named John McCain anymore either. It got broken.
Like, just to clear things up, it actually wasn't ended up being named that. Like, people complained about the fact that it wasn't. It ended up being like the
It was David Attenborough or something,
the
wasn't
Sir
it?
David Attenborough or something like that. But like, yeah, but people
They
complained
named
about
the
fact that
fucking submarine in it Subby McSubface though.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
hardcore. I'm happy now.
I liked Bodie McBoatface, to be honest with you.
Bodie
I loved it
McBoatface
too.
is a pretty bitchin' name for an exploration ship.
Yeah. So, Hania,
Was I hit you up
in the
with
chat.
Lagrange points diagram?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
With some Lagrange point diagram.
So
Please.
when I looked on the test server, right, there's only one point in order to anchor on the grid. So, and you actually go to the grid, and when you pop out your to anchor for Corp, your refinery, it actually shows you a silhouette of where to place it exactly, so that you can begin mining.
Yeah, I was just going with what we were told when we had one of the devs on that actually said that there were going to be two. So the L1 and L2 from the graphics that Jintan just linked.
Okay.
Oh.
So I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting, right? So we're gonna sit there. Hey, McZerg, thanks for 10 cheers. We appreciate that. That's awesome. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting play. It clearly gives you an assortment of things to get off the moon, whereas today you get one, right?
You get build rats.
And well, you don't necessarily get one. I mean, you can mine multiple, but really, when you look at what you're going to do with the reactions, I mean, to me, the way they're going to set up reactions in refineries in general is perfectly intuitive and the right way to do it. I'm still not
But
sure.
doesn't this also mean that we're going to be able to do reactions in Isaac?
No. They said they would only work in LowSec.
So they're going to limit that, right?
Yeah,
They're
that's
go-
still limited. To do the reaction, you've got to be in LowSec or NullSec. You can have
Okay,
refineries.
I just haven't
anywhere.
seen that written anywhere yet.
I think we did. I don't know, Jintan, have you seen it anywhere written?
Written about what? Sorry.
Reactions that they're still limited to LowSec and NullSec.
They will be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I heard that somewhere, and I don't know whether it was when Fozzie visited Talking in Stations that he mentioned that, or it was something after. But I'm pretty sure.
I'm fairly sure.
I'm pretty sure he just said that they were going to be limited to the actual structure, right?
Yeah. We also know that they're going to be limited by person. There'll be like industry jobs, all that sort of thing.
Right.
That's
So you'll
what
have
we
like
talked
the
about.
5 or 10 cap per character, whichever one it is. I think it's 5. But
Can I just say that it's going to make my life so much easier? Because I used to run a shitload of reaction farms.
mhm.
I don't anymore because I don't really play the game. LMAO. I do, but just not in that way.
It's funny.
I'm just gonna like take all the characters I used to have inside all those posers, just shove them in one big refinery somewhere,
Yep.
and just make bank
Absolutely.
with like no logistics. Oh, so nice.
But
It's
you
funny
are
because I have a few German friends who are like kind of a bit annoyed at the simplification of the processes. You know, basically just like, oh, just chuck everything in a refinery and you're good. Like,
Yeah, but
rather
it
than
gets
having-
complicated by the fact that
you got to
the
get
fact
this
that there's new compositions of the moons means that stuff like alchemy is kind of obsolete now, because the whole distributing and making sure that there's an alternative to barrier of entry, and you can't do things like monopolizing or interdiction. That's basically gone into the actual moon composition now. So I think there's a lot of interesting things that's going to happen, also because those amounts, which is basically not that much of the different types will still have to be moved around. So there's going to be a lot of logistics strain potentially here.
I mean, the logistics kind of element to it has been moved around like somewhat. But like, yeah, I think I wouldn't say that the ability to monopolize a certain thing is like impossible to do. Like, it depends entirely on the disposition of the materials. So,
the value and the major composition of the moons is going to be specific, but the rest of it, as far as we know now, is going to be randomized. So you, instead of having things like,
it was randomized before, right? You tell me it wasn't randomized before? It was randomized.
It wasn't per machine random. It was a different type of. This one's going to be more random. Is basically what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, if anything from what I saw on the test server bears out, right? Whereas you knew every cycle you were getting 100 units of Dispro, right? You don't know what that's going to be this time. You know it's some percentage of what you pull, but it's not going to be as standard, I don't think, as what you got before, right?
Well, plus you also have to literally have the manpower in order to actually extract that from the from the field as well. So there's that kind of randomized element that's actually like very different to make a certainty judgment about it.
So
I still like the potential that this could actually be the alternative that allows CCP to kind of nerf the anomalies.
Maybe.
Because there's 55,000 moons all in all? And they're all going to have content. Not necessarily the high-end stuff, but they're all going to have something in them, and they're all going to be able to be mined like this.
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be able to, but you're going to have the same thing. If something's not... The only thing that's going to make them worthwhile, right, is if some of the lower-end moons jack up in value, right?
Well, the point is that if they have minerals as well, which is what they do, right, then what you can do is that you can have player-controlled anomalies that's not based on the same cycling bullshit that the current anomalies are.
Well, you're still going to have issues of whether a certain moon is profitable to be to basically be mined. Like, because you still have that, fuel functionality, like that fuel requirement for the new refineries in order to actually, do what it needs to do. And the other thing is you've now got this uncertainty element of the fact that you have to put miners out there in order to get killed. So like, those moons that are in low circle, those moons that are in
the point is that for minerals,
high traffic areas.
For minerals, this is a much better alternative than current static belts and anomalies.
Yeah, but you
can't just minus the element of actually the real world element of the actual collection of that kind of stuff from the equation.
Yeah.
But the point is that you have a ledger now, and you have it player controlled. That means that you can have a lot better oversight of the assets and the raw materials in space, which is a huge improvement to the current static belt that no one knows how's actually respawning, and anomalies that are being abused because.
But yeah, in terms of normal mining, but like it hasn't really changed. Like changed the game in terms of moon mining. Can
I just say that on the mining ledger, anyone who ever says the fucking CSM is useless, I would like to remind you that the mining ledger was our idea. CCP didn't want to do it, and we pushed it through. And
it looks really good, and the fact that you can also do the personal ledger, and it's really looking as it's a huge improvement. And I still really hope that CCP considers at least nerfing, if not removing, anomalies and static belts, because this is so much better.
Well, it presents certain economical challenges for CCP to do that, right? So when you look at the moons on the test server today, right, they might have one high-end ore in a very small miner amount, right? So unless they're really, really, really going to change that distribution and force you to do it, the other thing you have to think about in moon mining is this. You think about it in terms of entertainment dollars within a region. to put it economically, right? There are only so many entertainment dollars that are available in a region for people to spend, right? So there's only so many mining dollars that are going to be out there spent to mine, right?
The point is that with this, you have prospecting, right? You will prospect for the content, and this can be a lot more intelligent and dynamic, and they can code a proper distribution AI. You will have the added value of NPC interaction, right? That matters.
You don't have a static distribution, even if they put it on the moons. And you don't even with static belts, because the actual distribution of the item in the game is dependent on whether it's mined or not.
That doesn't matter. The point is that with this mechanic, you have all the benefits of new code, and you can get rid of all the ancient fucking static belt code.
I get that. But what I'm telling you, economically in the game, and
this will make it an active asset. You have to actively play for any value to appear. That makes perfect sense.
You already have that with mining today, right?
Yeah,
no,
like,
don't. The belts are pretty much the same.
It doesn't. But the belts. But the stuff in the belts don't magically just appear on the market if they don't get mined.
Yeah, no, of course not. But the point is that the value of systems are currently based on how many belts are actually in each system and things like that. And the distribution is pretty much based on antiquated macroeconomics. So it's really bad, and it's been bad for a long time. And anomalies have been the faucet that was infinite that's been destroying even more of the balance of the game. This is the solution, right? That's my point.
Let me explain it to you a different way. In all of EVE, you have 100 units of mining to spend. That's it, because only so many people mine. You're not going to get statistically more miners with this moon mining change. Okay?
But the way that the hardware is going to be invested and the way that the hours are going to be invested is going to be so much more dynamic and interesting in a game mechanic point of view.
Let me finish, Caleb. Right? You only have so many units of mining that are going to happen. You have two ways to get mining. People are going to gravitate to the one that gets them the most income, period, because there are enough moons that you could just mine moon goo all the time in one system, right? You don't ever have to mine rocks and ice ever again if you don't want to, right? So you have to be careful. That dynamic alone.
That's the same seesaw as we've always had. You're going to move when the value is making it worth it, right? That's the same for ice or for minerals or whatever. This is just the fact that moon mining now adds the same aspect, and that's a third wheel into the mix. Right?
It actually doesn't add a new aspect. It adds more of the same.
No. It adds a third aspect, and the really interesting part is that when you now have a third part, it's no longer just going to be a seesaw between two. It's going to be three linked pendula. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to create a lot more game content than we've ever had before, because 3 is a magical number when it comes to this whole seesaw mechanic.
Right, 3 is the most unstable number. So
it will create instability. It will create chaos. That means that you're going to have more interesting content in the game. You won't be able to just spreadsheet everything.
The chaos that is going to create, okay? And we can see in 4 months where this leads. But you're going to see low sec be less low sec. You're not going to see low sec mined more. You're not going to see more accounts in the game. You're going to see subscriptions in the game canceled because of this. Not because people are mad, just because they don't need them, okay? The other thing that you're going to see is you're going to see less minerals be mined, because that's going to be spread now across the moon goo. Okay, so you're going to see a major disruption to your economic markets based on less of everything. That's what you're going to end up seeing. And we'll see who's right on this one, Caleb. I mean, it's not going to be too many months before we see it, right?
No. But the point I'm trying to make is the chaos is going to be introduced because there's now 3 parts in this content, right?
You'd have to define chaos.
Okay. When you have 2 things you can shift between, right? As a miner, right? Mm-hmm. You used to have ice, and then you had roids, right? So that would mean that it's always going to be just a seesaw back and forth between the two activities, depending on how the price changes. But when you now have a third element, right, then you add a third pendulum, then it's no longer going to be swinging just back and forth. It's going to create chaos, and it's going to be a lot more sensitive to player interaction. That means that you will never be able to fully just spreadsheet your way out of any price developments, or when the cycle is going to change from ice to ore. This is not going to be possible anymore. That also means that there's going to be a lot more sensitivity to local activity. And this is especially going to be interesting when you look at things like Delve, because the activity of players there is massively higher than anywhere else. So the whole macroeconomic scenario of EVE is going to change. And then when you add things like the stockpiling, who's got the stockpiled ISK and who's got the stockpiled moon goo and who's got stockpiled minerals, it's going to be so much more interesting on the other side of this patch.
Yeah, but again, the point that I'm making is not that. The point I'm making is if you have $100 mining and you have 3 things to cycle between now, they all get 33. Okay? Essentially. And not that it's perfectly even, but your distribution of each of those drops. And I think CCP intends that to a point because they believe that there's a high stockpile of minerals. They believe there's a high stockpile of moon goo out there. They want to liberate that from being dry powder and get it into the liquid market, right? That's their goal in some of this. But once that reserve is gone, you're going to see dramatic chaos in the market. And
as Kania just pointed out, right, the whole thing is going to tie into territorial control and territorial activity, which also brings in the fact that these things are now a lot more sensitive to real estate, the structures that you are putting into space, the things that you are risking. It's not just risking your ships, you're also risking the hardware that you need to actually have these activities running. So instead of FuzzySov, you are now getting StructureSov and raw material Sov.
You don't have either of those, because FuzzySov is the worst thing that's ever happened to Sov, because the reason is you have no reason to go take a big corporation Sov. Like, we would never invade Fountain today like we've done a couple times and completely go through it and bust it up, right? Because the only thing that FuzzySov has given you is essentially border warfare. And nobody wants to fight with their neighbors because you have to have some stability on your border, right? I mean, that's all you have anymore under FuzzySov. This isn't going to create economic warfare. This will cause maybe some people trying to gank some mining fleets. That's all you're going to get from this, guys. Guaranteed.
You're very wrong, but that's...
Well, time will tell. But we've got it right here. You say it's wrong. You think there's going to be giant wars over...
No, I didn't say giant wars. I'm just saying that space is going to matter, and labor hours is going to matter, and real estate is going to matter. And it's going to be very interesting to see if CCP then has the balls to actually add the next features that's going to be needed to make this really, really effective, which is a Sov-based tax.
Personally, I think that because all of these particular elements to the equation is going to matter a lot more. There's going to be a lot more areas of space where those 3 particular elements, those particular factors, do not align correctly in order for it to be profitable to have moon mining occurring in that area. So, like, personally, I kind of think that there's going to be much more areas that are kind of more feral in terms of moon mining, in terms of available places for R6, that have R64 and R32s. And it'll be interesting to see how people calculate the net value of dropping a refinery there, just to have it get blown up at some point because someone, or just to have it like sit there and not actually produce anything because it just basically ends up being a massive like area of content for people, for pirates, basically.
Yeah, today as a small corp in low sec, I can go drop a couple pauses, do some moon mining and reactions, and be happy as a clam, and nobody bothers them. There's large swaths of low sec that this can happen. As soon as I interject interactive mining of that, as I got to have a fleet in there, now you're just going to have roaming bands of people that want to blow up those mining fleets. And then once that happens a few times, those mining fleets will just go away, and everybody who didn't do it, who now dabbled in it, will no longer play the game that way.
But that's the whole point. That's the problem with, in my opinion, with your standpoint, is that you don't understand that fundamentally this is integrating what you would consider PvE or mining and industry back into the game, making it something that's worth something. When you have extremely cheap minerals and all industry can be done by a few players, then the value of what you would call the Care Bears of Eve was basically undermined and deracinated. It was totally removed from the game. So now we're bringing it back. That means that you can shoot these people, or you can decide not to defend them, but then it's going to hurt your own ass. That's the point.
So,
but
is this finally
the
the panacea, the blue pill, the red pill, whatever you want to call it for Eve, that is actually going to bring up more subs and more people online? Because every single freaking change that they have made since they were claiming to do this has made everything go down. There's
but
not more
everything that they've done in the
Eve
past have been the opposite of what they have just done when they've rolled out structures, when they've rolled out this new mining. All of these things are fundamentally the opposite of the problem that they introduced 7 years ago when they started making easy mode.
Alpha clones, Citadels, Sfazisov, the three biggies, less players. Okay? I guarantee you this isn't going to give you more players. The only value proposition of a change in Eve is one that brings more players. And I'm telling you,
this will potentially bring more players, but it's going to take a little bit longer, because the people that have left because of the problems that we have talked about endlessly for the last 3 months, about the fact that everything was useless, worthless, and depletion was not in the game, so it was just easy mode. This has been covered a lot. This has been bringing it in the other direction, and now those players can eventually come back, and they will stay because things now have value. They matter. So does their work, their efforts.
Yeah, their work and their effort may sort of add a little bit of value, but like, I personally kind of think that, you know, less people wanting to. I mean, to be completely honest, like the overall workload of, you know, miners in the entirety of New Eden is not based around, you know, like what nullsecers can do. Like, you know, there's a shit ton of you know, like resource gathering that happens in HiSec, and I mean, to be completely honest,
but recently it's been worthless, right? The point is that it used to be that when you wanted to build supers, you needed to put the man hours in there. It was a strain. It was hard. It's been so easy for the last 3-4 years.
But what I'm saying is, when you get less, you know, when to get the same amount of like overall resource gathering in New Eden to occur, if you basically say, oh, right, we're upping the amount of man hours that needs to happen, then what happens? You get inflation in some way, shape, or form. That increases prices for various different things, which means that people who don't have the ability to, you know, get those dank 260 mil ticks, you know, they can't afford to do certain things that they enjoy doing now, which means that there's less incentive or less.
But you're circle arguing, right? You're using examples of things that are going to change. The point I was trying to make is that now the people that you used to call Care Bears now matter again. That means that the people that have been leaving are now potentially going to come back. If you want to fight, if you want to fight, you need to have the support. And of course, the big organizations like Goons have that. But a lot of Eve does not. That means that they are going to start being dependent on people that can actually put in work.
But do you think those people who put in work enjoy getting blown up and getting ganked? No, they don't.
No, and that's why they need to collaborate with people that like to fight. That's the whole point. But it's been the case that a few people could sit and suck the tits of these faucets or from the anomalies. Very few people could support the entirety of Eve. It's just not going to be possible anymore.
Yeah, Caleb. I know, I understand that. But the thing is, one of the overriding hardest things to do in Eve is to foster a reputation of being true to your word. And so many people, so many groups, so many alliances have burnt that to the ground. Do you think that somehow people are going to suddenly foster those ability to be true to your word, to be able to?
It's a reset. That's my point. This whole thing is.
But like the thing is,
you bring in the whole diplomacy thing. That's a totally different coin, right?
No, it's one and the same.
It's connected because
can I just cut in here, because you guys are just arguing in like very bad circles that make zero sense and aren't particularly getting anywhere. So basically, Eric, let me sum up your argument. Your argument is that because less people are going to be working on moon mining, it's not going to change anything. And Caleb's argument is
that is not my point.
Sorry, someone else. I'm sorry, I don't know voices.
No, that's Eric. It's Eric. No, that's not my point. My point is, don't assume that you're going to get the same levels of output from individuals, right? Since they're doing the same thing over and over, be it moon mining, ice mining, mineral mining.
I do actually want to attack one of your original core concepts, which is that there's only a specific number of people in the game who are willing to mine, and that's 100, and that's exactly the amount that mine right now. We've proven that was wrong with the roll call changes. The amount of people who mined massively increased over the course of just a couple of months because it became profitable to mine.
And then they took it away.
So hold it, Jintan, right?
It's still the most profitable thing.
So it's still Super Round. So it's still the most profitable thing to do. Yet all the mineral indexes have fallen through the floor, and CCP, Quant, and all them are all freaking out about it.
Well, so if it's still the most, they made mining the most lucrative thing to do, and that massively oversupplied the market. That's what happens when everyone does something.
But the indexes can't be through the floor, and it can't be the most profitable thing. If the indexes are through the floor and it's still the most profitable thing to do, then there's not a problem with the indexes.
But the indexes are going up, so
the indexes
the whole thing is
not according to the last one. There's still indexes that are dropping.
The mining indexes are.
Yeah. Mining is still going up. Is plateauing right now. I think that's what the last one showed us.
So you believe that in an area of falling subscriptions and falling playership, that
do I believe that this expansion is the expansion that will save Eve? No, absolutely not. This is not an expansion.
Again, you're putting words in my mouth. You believe that you haven't yet reached a plateau of the number of players that are in the game today and falling, who are going to mine, and you think moon mining is going to send mining through the roof. If there's 100 miners today, you're going to get 200 miners or more tomorrow.
You see,
it's not about going through the roof.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm asking the question if that's right.
I believe that if active moon mining is eminently profitable enough for the individual, more individuals will do it. That's just a basic value proposition.
Yeah.
And those prices are still going to be tied into the storage of ISK, and it's going to be linked directly into the amassing and the faucets of ISK. So all these things about price indexes are going to change considerably. So you can't do this predictive, simple exponential thing or spreadsheeting that you used to. That's my whole claim. And you have to at least acknowledge that is potentially what you're going to see.
We only have 3 minutes left, so if Jintan wants to make a point here, let's let him just make his points. Is that good, Jintan? Because you've been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I've been listening in the background to this conversation. It's been interesting.
I was the kind of the area that I just wanted to say was like, considering the, that whole value proposition and the fact that if it's more profitable for miners to mine, these moon goo sort of moon fields that get created, then there'll be more miners. That's all fair and well. That's a nice basic kind of formula to work on, but it's more complicated than that because miners won't just go mine if it means they're going to get blown up by gankers. So you need to have fairly safe space, or you need to have you need to have the space basically patrolled by people. And unless you already know people who are going to basically save you when you're mining, then you need to develop those relationships, and those relationships aren't developed quickly, especially in EVE, where the idea of being true to your word, being reliable, is very, very, very valuable and very scarce. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I think I agree with what you're saying there, which is that this is going to incentivize more relationships because this is bringing people back into things that they can instantly walk to.
Exactly.
This is a right-click menu. I can find you, sort of thing.
It has to, but the thing is, it's not going to be instant.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's going to take a while for the game to adapt to this. Definitely, we're going to see. I think Delve, as always, has the head start here economically, but I expect we'll see certain regions come out as the winners here. Certain regions that have consistently defended their rafters for long periods of time. I reckon the Russians will probably be one of the bigger losers here because they simply don't have a way to defend the vast amount of space that they hold. I would expect Volta, for example, organizations like that to take massive advantage of them.
Interestingly enough,
Hey, guys, I got to wrap it up. I'm very sorry. Got to cut us off. We are right at the end of the hour. The Meta Show is coming up next. I want to thank Jin Tan for stopping by, and you're always welcome to stop by, Jin. And obviously, and Caleb, McLeod, and Scythe, all for joining us this week. And thank you to the audience for everything, all the subs and all the cheers. Appreciate it. And we got to run. Meta Show is up next.